today's video, I'm going to talk about what you will need and how to apply for a luxury apartment in any area that you live in. If you want to see this video on how to apply for a luxury apartment and get approved, then just stay tuned and don't forget to like and subscribe. So the first thing that you want to do is find out which luxury apartment that you want to live at. I like to go on Google and type in luxury apartment and then whatever area that I live in, and go down the search results and make sure I do 4.5 stars or above and see which luxury apartments are the nicest, that are high ratings, because the higher the rating, the more likely it is for you to get in. And then also the better management, the better people. It just makes everything better when the apartment has a better rating. So then once you find the apartment that you want to apply for, you want to make sure you have some type of savings. You really should have at least 1 month of or 2 months of what that apartment is that you want to apply for. If you want a 2-bedroom and it's $1,000 a month, then you want to make sure you have at least $2,000 or more on hand, just in case for any other fees or anything like that. You may have to pay something extra, and you also have to pay like the security deposit and all of that jazz. So you want to have some extra money in the bank. Ideally, it's better to have more than that, but if that's all you have, then just make sure you have at least 2 months of rent, just in case for any expenses. You want to make sure that you have no negative things on your credit history. Now, it may not matter depending on what apartment you apply at, how low your credit is or how high your credit is. They really want to see what is on your credit. A lot of times that I've noticed, some luxury apartments, they probably require a certain credit, but there are some that you can get in and have a lower credit. I'm talking in the 600s, in the 500s, anything like that. You could probably still get in, and they really want to see specifically if you owe another apartment complex, because they want to make sure that you're not transferring those habits over to their apartment and you won't pay them. So you can't owe another apartment, and if you do, you have to pay it off and show those documents that you paid it off. You can't have anything that's just drastically I don't know, maybe like $1,000 or more on your credit history, showing like bad payments, like you just haven't made a payment on a car, or they want to see that you have enough money to pay them. So you don't want to have anything bad on your credit. Some people, they don't have any credit and their credit's low because they don't have any credit yet, and that is probably okay. You probably can still get in because you don't have anything on your credit, but they specifically will look at what is on your credit and make sure that you don't have anything that's going to transfer over to that apartment. Most apartments that are luxury, and actually all apartments, will look at if you make 3 times the rent. They want to make sure you make 3 times the rent specifically, so that way you can cover the rent and have enough to pay the rent, so that way you don't have anything bad like you won't get evicted. That's another thing too. You can't have no evictions on your credit history or anything like that. But they want to make sure that you can pay the 3 times the rent. So a lot of times they will check your 3 months bank statements to see if you make 3 times the rent. They'll also look at your last tax return the previous year to make sure that you can make the rent each month. So they'll go off of the previous tax return to see how much you made. For example, if you made $30,000 in your last tax return, then they want to make sure they'll actually divide that probably by 12, and whatever that amount divided by 3 is will determine how much you can pay in rent. And if you don't meet that requirement for the 3 times the rent, then you won't get approved. So you have to make sure that you make 3 times the rent, and they're going to verify it. You also want to make sure you have stable employment. Now, when I say stable employment, it doesn't mean you have to work for a company and have to be a salary employee. You can be hourly employee, you can be self-employed and still get into a luxury apartment. They just want to see consistency in your employment. They want to see that you didn't have any huge gaps between your employment, because even if you have the huge gaps, that means your income might be lower. So they'll look at your offer letter for your job if you are going into a position and see if you can make the 3 times the rent, or what your employment is currently or what is going to be based off of the offer letter. So if you are self-employed, then they'll most likely look at your bank statements, because you don't have to be employed to get into a luxury apartment. They also will look at your pay stubs. If you are employed at a job, they will look at the last 3 pay stubs, maybe even 4, to see where you work and if you can afford that apartment. And then once all of that is cleared and they make sure that, you know, you don't have a bad credit history, you don't have like negative charge-offs, you don't have any crime, anything on your record, you're not a criminal, that kind of thing, then you'll get approved to live into a luxury apartment. And then you get to enjoy the lifestyle of living in a luxury apartment. So if you have any questions, just ask me down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you want to see next. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.